So I borrowed this Anchorman Kaohi leash from Roy, the owner of Kyohi. And I just made a video for him to give him my feedback, but I decided, while I'm here, do a public one as well. Because I feel this product is good and it's better than just what it's supposed to be. What I mean by that is that the whole point of this one is the sea anchor for guys that like to drop their wing like behind waves and stuff like that. And some people go like, well, I don't need that because I don't do that. But you know what? I actually would encourage you to try something like this. It's not something you can do everywhere, but it's something that I definitely encourage people to try because it helps you with pumping and with the freedom of being able to balance on the board on the foil without holding onto a wing. But for that to work, if you're not going to do it very often, it has to be a good harness. And that is what I'm surprised because it is. The reason is, normally, this is what I normally ride. I ride Mystic, whatever this is, Majestic, which is very stiff, wide support area, and it's really good for long sessions, gives you a lot of back support. So sometimes I'm out for like 3-4 hours in a single session, and I load my wings a lot because I like to go fast. And I found this harness, I really like it. So I was a little concerned when I got this one that it's not gonna offer enough support because it's just a belt. But I found that even after a 3-hour session, yeah, it's not as supportive as this, but it worked just fine. And I found a bunch of little quirks on it that I thought were really interesting and really good. Like for example, something as simple as the fact that the logos are one this side and the other one's flipped. And the reason for that is that because if you like to wear the buckle on the right or on the left, you're never going like, oh, it's upside down. You just flip the hook over and you can wear it however you like if you like to have the buckle on the left. Another cool thing about it is that I put the buckle on the right, but for me, coming from kiteboarding, I like my harness is really tight. So when I put it on, which by the way, it goes on pretty easily, and this buckle, as much as I don't like plastic buckles, and I'll go into that in a second, this one's super beefy, so I really don't expect it's gonna break. It definitely has a lot of material. But like I said, like you see, I can make it really tight. When it's in the water and it's wet and it's pulling, it loosens enough, but I don't like my hook to be way the heck over here. So I like it really tight. And one thing I do even when I come out of jives and stuff, is sometimes I push it down. And it's just a habit from old kiteboarding days. The hook can pivot, but because it has this silicone stuff, it's great because it doesn't loosen, but it doesn't pivot quite as well as this does. And another thing I personally did not like is I don't like the hooks that go like this because they have pinched your skin. So if you're wearing a wetsuit, it's fine, but if you're wearing a shirt, shirtless, or even with a rash guard, I found a couple times it pinched my skin. I was like, oh, dang. But it's a minor thing. Plus, I can also source a hook like this and swap it in because technically it'll take any hook because this thing comes undone and you put any hook you want. So that's great. Now, the whole thing about the anchor, the idea is that if you're gonna drop your wing anywhere, you just go like that and it releases this pin. When it comes out, it's got this parachute thing that lands in the water and it's basically just a sea anchor. So the wing kind of stays in place so you can easily come back to it. So if you're riding waves and it's not a lot of people, like I wouldn't do it in Maui or anything like that, but there's a lot of breaks out that don't have a lot of people. Also, you don't want to do this where there's a lot of wingers and kiters because it's just basically dropping something in the way. But anywhere where it's not crowded, this is great. Normally at the local spot that I ride, I just take my whole harness off and drop it because the harness itself is enough drag to hold the wing down because where I ride is flat water and it's not that windy. But anywhere that's going to blow over 20 knots and there's waves, you definitely need something like this. Otherwise, you risk losing the wing because it's going to start flipping over. And this is very easy to put back together. Once you pick it out of the water, you grab it by the top so it lets the water out. You don't even have to be that neat. You kind of fold it in, put it in there, and then this whole setup, this guy hooks in here. You do this while sitting on the board, and there. That's it. Now, I personally don't like the plastic thing here. I think it should be wrapped in neoprene because it bangs around when you're pumping. And also I didn't like this guy because I actually hit my mast with it and nicked it. But technically, you can technically replace the leash or wrap it with something. but I'm sure you can put something like that on. So that was my only complaint in terms of the leash itself. But otherwise, it's long enough for big wings or short wings. And like I said, this is very minor. It really didn't bother me most of the time during the session. When I did hit my mask was actually when I put it on the beach and wrapped the leash around it. I forgot that was there and boom, hit the mask. So as long as you keep your eye on that and this doesn't bother you, it's perfectly fine. I like that it's very adjustable. This comes out really easily. It's similar to the old Kaohi buckles, but the Kaohi buckles come all the way through. And it's nice that it's plastic in this case, even though I said I didn't like plastic, because it won't ding your board. Like I said, it's got the silicone grippy stuff all the way through. It didn't come loose in the whole session, and I did like 40 miles in 3 hours. And the whole time it was perfectly tight. It's very well put together. This whole edge is nice. It really is a very quality product, and I like that it packs small. So when I put it in my bag, it just kind of like goes really small and doesn't take a lot of space. I really do not like packing this guy because it's just big. On this guy, actually, see, I put Spectraline because these tend to break the buckles, these attachment buckle things. So I put a Spectra on it just in case that one snaps. And on this side, there's no buckle anymore. I mean, yeah, I just put Spectra. So if I'm gonna do long sessions or racing or something like that, this is the way to go. But I actually want to get one of these for waves and just the freedom of being able to drop my wing. Now, like again, if it's something you don't do, a lot of guys is just afraid of dropping the wing because it feels like, oh, I'm gonna lose it, it's gonna lose control. But if you do it right with something like this, it really is fun. And if you do things like prone, for example, you can train for prone by dropping your wing so that you can practice pumping, which helps you a lot when you're prone foiling. And let me see, am I missing anything? It's got some extra attachment points if you want to attach a board leash or anything like that, you can. And I suppose this can go back here as well. And that's it, the Kaohi Anchorman Harness.